Where is the love? Where is the love? Did I mention I love you? Hi, my name is Terence. I'm an artist, of course, born here in Georgia, a small town outside of Atlanta, which is not so small now, but in Lawrenceville. Growing up, we were always ragged on about it being country, but it has really developed into its own little place. And but when I speak to other people, and I say I'm from Georgia, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is Atlanta, and that's home. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna start with anybody who knows me knows I speak highly of my grandmother, who is still alive at 98. She was born in 1912, and all 98 years have been spent in Gwinnett County. And growing up African American, that's the new phrase, or black back then, we dealt with a lot of racism, and but on the other hand, for me, it was a balance, because I was not only surrounded by, as we say, my people, but I got to see how other people lived, and in a sense, we were a part of that. We were black people, but we still lived in a predominantly white area. And growing up, I loved it because it, like I spoke of balance, it gave me a balance because I went to a predominantly white school. And it doesn't make me think I'm better. I just feel more well-rounded to be around different people and to see different aspects and different ways of living besides of what is considered to be quote-unquote black, a black lifestyle. So it never really bothered, it didn't bother me, I should say. When I spoke of racism, it's always been around, but when I was a teenager, times had changed, so to speak, so it wasn't as bad as when I spoke of my grandmother being born in 1912, or either my mother and their childhood, what they had to deal with. I think as time progressed, as with society, everything has gotten a little better, but it's still there. I still feel it, and it still pains me, and it still angers me. So, and one thing I've learned to accept is that I don't think it's going to ever change. Frustration with my people stems, it runs deep, and I don't know if a lot of people feel my pain, or it make me the bad guy for feeling this way, and I know we're all different. I've spoke with friends and close colleagues about it, and I know we all come from different backgrounds, but I just expect so much more from my people. I do. All that selling out, or you speak standard or proper English, whichever one you prefer to use, or you listen to a certain type of music, or you go to a certain place and you're not black enough, and I just have issues with that, because it's not, what my skin color is, but it's my character. And I try to be fair when I see other people of my race acting out, and I try to be fair and think about their upbringing and what influences they had in their life, and how that manifested with them to let them be that way. And I have to respect whatever way that is. So, but I still get very perturbed when I see those actions being carried out in front of others where there is somewhat a place of respect or where there should be manners. And I always feel as though no matter how you were reared, there's something in you. There's something, that spirit in you tells you what is right and what is wrong, and what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And when I see people acting out, it just really goes through me. And something that has always stuck with me in my being a small little African American child, watching the program Good Times, I will never forget the episode where Florida took Penny to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You people." And that has always stuck with me, and not in the sense that the doctor, this is my point of view, that the doctor might have thought she was better than Florida, but I understood where she was coming from, because she just was like me. She expected more, like, I understand your situation, but what are you doing to change it? Or how are you trying to get out of this situation? No, you might not can go to school and be a doctor, but there's something else that you can do. And then, of course, I love Florida's comeback, because if you watch the program, she is, they were struggling, and that she was an upstanding woman with a lot of pride and respect. And so I saw both sides, and that just stuck with me, because who knew growing up that I would feel like that doctor, and then I have to still shine the light on me and say, Terence, what can you do more? What can you do to change your circumstances and the circumstances? I hear young people or anybody speak of racism, and I know we have to deal with it where we're at, but I always bring up my grandmother just to give them a little insight, like, you do the math, 1912 in the South. And one thing I love about her is her beauty. She never, for all my years, she's never told any kind of, in her spirit, be prejudiced, even though it was shown to her. And I think she's a great positive influence in my life to make me see that people can't touch you. Only if you let them. Growing up, my father was there in the beginning, but of course my mother, she is like the backbone, and she helped instill a lot of that pride and just the tenacity to do better, to achieve more. And there are really two other women who I can speak highly of, and that's my aunts, Jean, because they just were very positive, and I think they helped contributed that factor in my life to be positive and to get over the hurdles, and to be expressive and to shine and to let my art shine through, my talent shine through my art. The last person is a star and a big star, and I get a lot of flack when I say she's my idol, but she represents everything that I spoke of, coming from the projects, but the projects not being in them, and that is Diana Ross. I love Diana Ross because she's a black woman, and I think we forget that we as a people tag on all the negative things about her career or what she's done or who she's done it to, but they forget that this is a black woman who has achieved some things certain white people hadn't even gotten to, and that she does it with a certain sense of style and grace, and of course we can't forget glamour. And when I was young, I saw that. And I always hear Oprah speak of seeing them, the Supremes, on an Ed Sullivan show. And she said, when I grow up, I want to be like that. And even though I'm a man, when I saw Diana Ross, I said, I want to be like that. So when Oprah said that, I felt our spirit had become one, because I also realized a lot of people feel that way, that I can achieve that kind of greatness. It's not just about being in front of a camera, being a star, but that you can still shine. And that's what I got from Diana Ross. And a lot of the, I do enjoy all the singers from my era, from growing up in that era of time, but she is my favorite. You know, growing up with a single parent, with it being a woman and my mother and me being a male, we had our difficult times. We bumped heads a lot. But as I got older, I think she started to respect me more as an individual, as well as being her child. Because you know, the whole parent-child relationship where the parent is always, you know, I'm the parent, and it's what I say goes. And so what I would clash with her about is that I am my own individual, and that I came through you, and I love you so much, but you have to respect me for being who I am and respect what I want to do. And so a couple of years ago, probably was in 2007, I was home visiting for the holidays, and I was in a really cranky mood, and she came in and she really lifted my spirit, because she told me that she's always admired my light, that she was very proud of who I am, and that she always wished she had that, whatever I had, that spark, that I have this ability to draw people to me and to engage with them. And that really was a touching and defining moment in our relationship, because I always felt like I knew she loved me, but that she did not really know me, or that she couldn't see what I was really about. And at that time she told me, you know, you have this special light, and I'm very proud of that. And I've always said that we all have a light. It's up to you to make the light shine. And I've also told people, don't try to put out my light, but work on your own. Work on your light, because we all have one. And that's, to me, is where jealousy and envy and all that strife comes in. And when you start worrying about somebody else's light, just work on your own. Those remarks is, I've always strived and wanted this big lifestyle and this big, everything big. Learned that from Diana. But that I am very pleased to be where I'm at, and that life is really the blessing, and that I have been blessed with meeting great people and doing some wonderful things, and traveling and seeing the world, and some things that I never thought I would see or do, and that I accepted where I'm at. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be. And that's how I feel about my life and where I'm at.